The frontrunner of the Democratic Party seems to be having some problems answering basic questions about healthcare. Let's take a look.
I work full-time for a small company that does not offer health benefits. My husband is a freelancer. We currently pay over $2,000 a month for health insurance for our family of 3. My question for you is that when our savings account inevitably runs out due to him not being able to work right now, what is it that we sacrifice? Do we sacrifice food, rent, or health care?
You should not have to sacrifice anything. Let me say that again. You should not have to sacrifice anything. Not just because it's the fair thing to be taking care of your entire family and every family in your circumstance, but because it's best for the whole country, the entire economy. It's not just doing a favor for any individual. Number one, your health care, you should not have to pay a penny for testing, and it should be available to you by now. We were promised it a while ago. It should be available for you to be tested and determine what needs to be done. Number two, the House just passed an unemployment proposal that increases by $600 the unemployment insurance you'd get, whether or not you were part of, you had been covered by unemployment insurance or paid into it before, including your husband who may have been, he's a entrepreneur on his own, doesn't have employees. You will be covered. And that should be done, but that requires the federal government to help the states set up the unemployment offices in a way that they can handle this enormous call on the need for being the unemployment insurance. Thirdly, the cost of a test should be absolutely zero for you, number one. And number two, I think the House and the Senate.
I'm sorry, what? What happened to number 3? Number 3 was number 1. What happened to 3? Kind of reminds me of Rick Perry, right? You guys remember Rick Perry, right, with the oops? Where he was trying to name the 3 agencies that he would get rid of. I think the irony was that the one that he couldn't remember is the one he actually became in charge of, the Department of Energy. So, oops. So that's your Joe Biden oops moment. So, wow. Democrats, is this your king? Is this your king? All right. Anyway, let's get into some substance, right? So Joe Biden says, well look, his answer to that young woman is testing should be free. Okay, well then what? I mean, this family says that they pay $2,000 a month for insurance, right? That is astronomical. Look, I barely make any more than that in a month. So to pay $2,000 for insurance, that's insane. So, okay, if you get tested for free and then you have it, well, what happens then, right? Now she says, look, I have the symptoms. I can't get a test. And he says, well, you should get a test. It should be available to you. But it's not. What are you going to do? What would you do if you were president to make sure testing was available, right? And that's kind of the whole reason that we have these Q&As. That you should explain what you would do, what policies you would put into place, and how you would handle the situation. But apparently he's not interested in that. He's just saying, well, I mean, it should be free and you should have it already. But okay, right? So if you get tested positive, what's your plan? No plan. And the reason that we need a plan is because right now, even with insurance, it can cost up to $10,000 to get treated. Assuming there, of course, is no complications, right? That's with insurance. Without insurance, it can cost anywhere from $20,000 to $70,000. Assuming depending on if there are complications, right? Which could end up being in the more expensive range. So for somebody who says, hey, look, my husband's out of work. He's a freelancer, right? We get this huge insurance premium, $2,000 a month. What do we do when our money runs out? What should we spend our money on? Because this is unsustainable. Telling them that testing should be free, not an answer. That's not an answer. And so testing and treatment should be free, right? Testing and treatment should be free. And of course, it would be free under a Medicare for all system. But look, that was an opportunity for Biden to actually show that he is willing to lead, that to showcase what should be his electability, right? Good job. I mean, he should have said, look, this is the deal. Our system's a bunch of malarkey, but here's my plan to fix it, right? I'm going to do this for you. Instead, we got what we got. Disaster, right? By the way, he was touting that the House put in extra unemployment benefits, right? Well, you know who also did that? The Senate. The Senate did that. And the House basically went with the Senate bill. And so who got that in there, by the way, that provision on unemployment insurance with the extra $600 in it? Oh, right. That would be Senator Bernie Sanders, your opponent in the primary. Yeah, he did that. And he actually fought against Republican senators, 4 of them, who said, oh, no, that's too dangerous. We will hold up the bill if you don't eliminate that. Bernie Sanders literally stood his ground for you and said, no, you're not going to do that. I'll hold up the whole damn thing because I don't like it. But if you at least give us this, the unemployment insurance, I'll let it go. I'll vote for it. I won't hold up the bill. You know what? You know who won that? Bernie Sanders. So you might want to thank him, Joe, for actually defending that provision that you were in favor of, that you just said that you were in favor of. So look, Joe Biden, that's just one of the many appearances where he was an absolute disaster. You could see, look, maybe it's just me, but the look on Anderson Cooper's face during that segment was pained. He was just like, oh, Joe, no. Joe, don't. Oh, God. It was that bad. So now think about what's going to happen if Joe Biden becomes the Democratic nominee and he's going to go after Donald Trump. Now, remember, right now, he can say, well, look, the primary's over, so I don't have to debate Bernie Sanders. I don't have to do anything. I'll go on TV once in a while and do a softball interview, but that's it. But you're not going to be able to hide from Donald Trump. Donald Trump's going to come after you with a 2x4. He's not ready for that. He's going to get creamed. And again, he's got no answer for this. He didn't even bring up his public option. The thing that you're supposed to be running on in the middle of a pandemic to assure people, hey, don't worry, under my public option, you're going to have affordable health care. Couldn't even bring that up because he's probably not going to do it for one. But even so, you're still going to leave 10 million people out of health insurance. And so no good answers for that. He is not prepared to take on Donald Trump and certainly not prepared to take on the moment. It's more than just defeating Donald Trump. And I've said this before, but now it's even more apparent. We have an economic and health crisis. Joe Biden and his milquetoast approach, his moderate centrism, is not prepared to meet the moment. We need bold action. We need big moves. We need big ideas to handle this big problems that we have now. And so, look, what's scary about this is that we're all pointing this out. We're all saying, Biden is not ready. Biden is not the right person for the right time. It's time. Look, back in 2008, Joe Biden was not ready because the guy hadn't won a primary. The guy hadn't even won a state until now. And so you're going to tell me that guy is ready for a revolutionary moment when we literally have what they call a revolutionary candidate? I don't think he is at all. I don't think Bernie Sanders is revolutionary. I think Bernie Sanders is a centrist, is a true centrist. I think he's truly in the center and can get people from all different demographics and all different political walks because he's right on the issues. He is right. And he's got the most popular policy. That's the guy that we need, not someone who supposedly plays to the middle, which in reality is just more right-wing nonsense. Biden not being able to talk about his plans, that is scary. And if he becomes the nominee, I fear that we are absolutely screwed. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a patreon.com/TYTNation set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.